Hi-ho. It's been some time. It took me nearly 3 years to upload this video. The editing was done 2 years ago. And it took me the rest of the time to find the willpower and the courage to, or even a good mic, to finally do a voiceover. There was some kind of self-doubt and crisis if I should even upload, if anyone would be interested in it. But all of this to the side, this trip to San Francisco was such a great experience for me that I still feel the need to upload it. I'm so sorry that I didn't upload it on time. The second part will hopefully be out soon as well. And there's also a Disneyland vlog from last year waiting. So grab a coffee, get comfy. Let's go back to the trip that's been sitting in my editing folder for way too long. So we flew from Austria all the way to the US, our very first time on the West Coast, and even the flight itself was kind of amazing. Those views and the feeling of finally going somewhere completely new. And after a really long trip, we finally arrived in San Francisco and checked into a hotel near Powell Street. We spent our time at the Bartlett Hall. Our room itself was really nice, clean, cozy, and everything we needed was there. We even had a fridge, which I seriously appreciated. There wasn't any room cleaning service, but honestly, we preferred it that way. Whenever we needed towels or toilet paper, we just grabbed them from the partner hotel around the corner. And as you can see here, we had the best view ever. On our first day, we woke up at 9 AM and surprisingly felt great. After the 12-hour flight, waking up without jet lag felt like a miracle. We're not really the plan everything ahead kind of travelers, we just go with the flow. So the night before we looked up some spots nearby and decided to grab breakfast at a place called Honey Cafe, and that turned out to be such a good choice. It was exactly the kind of American breakfast spot I dreamed of. Cozy, friendly, delicious food, and my morning coffee came in a really cute mug. Fueled up and totally in love with the cafe, we just headed out. No plan, just following our intuition. We wanted to soak up the city's architecture and get a feel for San Francisco. There may be some things in this video that are completely normal for you, especially if you're American. But for my Austrian butt, there were some things that I couldn't comprehend, and I was overwhelmed, especially with the architecture. We passed huge buildings, beautiful houses, lush parks and some stunning churches. And then, by complete accident, we ended up to one of the prettiest spots, Japantown. Which I didn't even know existed here. My Austrian brain could barely process how beautiful and authentic it looked. We walked around it, and if we hadn't just had breakfast, we probably would have stopped at one of those ramen or barbecue spot points right away. But I personally found my favorite place instead, the Anderson Bakery. I couldn't resist getting a curry pan and a coconut tart. The owner was so sweet. She said she'd never seen me before, and after I told her I was a tourist, she gave me an anpan as a little welcome gift, and it was honestly so kind. After that lovely experience, we decided to head towards the Golden Gate Bridge, and while walking through the park we saw a coyote warning sign, and not long after we actually ran into one. That was such a cool and unexpected moment. Obviously we were safe, nothing happened, but it was so cool to see a coyote in real life. We kept walking past beautiful plants and eventually reached the Presidio. Next to the visitor center there was a taco truck, and let me tell you, even nearly 3 years later we still talk about them, and we ate them while enjoying a perfect view of the ocean and the bridge. The fog started rolling in, but somehow it made everything even more atmospheric. We walked closer to the beach, took some photos, and then made our way back toward the city, stopping at the Palace of Fine Art. The columns and the pavilion were absolutely breathtaking. And after that we walked all the way back, uphill to our hotel, and that shower afterwards was really well deserved. On the second day, right around the corner from our hotel was the Union Square, so that's where we started our morning at 8:30. We were amazed how beautifully it was decorated, with the tall and elegant buildings. And again, I couldn't comprehend how huge the buildings actually were. And then we decided to do a little cultural experiment, so we went to McDonald's just to see how different it was from the ones in Austria. The menu itself was huge, so we tried a few breakfast items we don't have back home, for example a sausage McMuffin and pancakes. And honestly, it was pretty good for a McDonald's. After that, somehow, just by wandering around, we ended up in Chinatown. We didn't stay long though, it felt a bit too touristy during the day. I think it's probably much prettier at night when all the lanterns light up the streets. After walking through it, we explored some more and were once again fascinated by the huge buildings, the nice architecture, and also checked out some grocery stores. But we kept walking and eventually made it to the Pier 1, because somehow we always end up near the water. We took a little break with a view of Treasure Island and I finally ate that ampan from yesterday. It was so good. I wish we could get something like this around my area. Sometimes these simple moments, like sitting by the water with a pastry, they end up being the most special to me. Then we strolled along the pier, fishermen working, sea lions in the distance, colorful attractions everywhere. It was such a sensory overload, but in a good way.
Na, wie gut kannst du mich von hier aus hören?
Es geht so. Ich kann mich jetzt selber hören.
We made some more memories there and then we stepped into this crazy candy store called Sugar, a shop without any nutritional value. It was overwhelming, the smell, the colors, and we didn't even manage to buy anything, but that's something that I couldn't imagine having in our area. After that, we quickly stopped at 7-Eleven just to say we'd been in one, and then grabbed lunch at an In-N-Out burger. We shared a medium cheeseburger meal and it was heavenly. After eating, we decided to walk to 2.7 kilometers, I think that's 1.7 miles, back to the hotel, uphill and downhill. And of course, by chance, we passed the Lombard Street, a pretty famous winding road. After a break at our hotel, we went back to Japantown for dinner, and that was another amazing decision. Everything we had there was perfect. I remember getting takoyaki and ramen, and I think Michael got a bento. But the walk back at night was memorable, not in the best way. To get to our hotel, we had to walk through the Tenderloin district, which at that time doesn't exactly had the best reputation. I'll talk more about it in part 2, but let's just say a pretty drugged up guy with a kitchen knife walked past us, but we stayed calm, kept walking, and were pretty relieved when we finally made it back to the hotel, and that pretty much wrapped up day 2. It was quite the adventure. And on day 3, even though the night before was a bit stressful, we didn't want to ruin our trip, and we started the day again at the Union Square and went for the breakfast at the Cheesecake Factory on the top floor of Mace. It looked super fancy and had a massive menu. I thought it mainly had cheesecake and orange chicken, but the menu was pretty massive. So I had a flatbread with cheese, bacon, veggies, fried eggs and potatoes, and Michael had pancakes. And we really wanted to try one of the famous cheesecakes, but when we saw that some slices had 1,700 calories, we decided to share a sugar-free strawberry one instead. It was still delicious, just a tiny bit less guilty, and that's also a thing I've never seen here in Austria, where the menu items show the calories. That I wish we would take over. The mall itself was pretty fascinating. Each floor had its own theme and everything was beautifully connected. And after breakfast, we took the subway to the Golden Gate Park. And once again, we were blown away by the variety of plants, the huge palm trees and the stunning architecture. And we got super lucky. Usually the museum admission is $20 per person, but since it was couples day, okay, we got in for free. That vacation luck was still going strong. The exhibits were pretty amazing. Mayan history, English artifacts, African and Maori art. And even the bathrooms were gorgeous. And after exploring, we walked through the park, got a bit emotional about how incredible the trip had been, and decided to walk all the way back instead of taking the subway. It was about 6 kilometers, so 3.7 miles. Thank you, Google. Uphill, downhill, uphill, downhill. But honestly, those long walks with deep conversations were some of the best parts of the trip. Those are the kind of moments that stick with me when I'm tired, happy, but so grateful to be exactly where I am. When I wander a city with no plan, and that's when you find these little secrets and create the best memories together. On our way back, we passed City Hall and stopped for diner at Carl's Jr., where a random guy asked if I was a hippie because of my sunflower sweater. And by Sunday, we were completely exhausted. Aside from attending a religious meeting, we only went out to grab Chipotle, then spent the rest of the day relaxing at the hotel. And that, my friends, was the start of my Chipotle addiction.